The dream, you're going about your regular day. The interpretation, a common dream that can be surprisingly puzzling. Boring, real-life events, such as going about your normal workday or picking the kids up from school. Because our brains are limited to what we know, the way we work through stressor is by referencing how we live day to day. Perhaps you went to sleep thinking about everything you had to do the next day. Maybe you have been arriving late to pick up your child and you're feeling guilty about it, says Boquin, who recommends exploring the emotions you felt in the dream. What was the theme, and is that a theme you're facing currently? Know that it's common to construct dreams using real-life thoughts and sights, as well, so there might not be some deeper meaning unless it feels like there is one. This is a great example of day residue, explains Braun. Often, what happened the day prior to dreaming is used in our dreams. Quote, the dream, you're back in school, taking a test. The interpretation, usually this dream is connected to work, says Lowenberg. School was our first job ever, Lowenberg points out, adding that this dream is common when a work challenge is on the horizon. Whether you're trying to get a new client, it's evaluation time, you're trying to get a promotion, anytime you're feeling tested and you've got to prove yourself. The takeaway: how did you feel in the dream? Were you prepared? It's kind of like a mirror, says Lowenberg. The dream, you're hanging out with a celebrity, any celebrity. The interpretation, if the celeb cameo feels random, there's still a reason they're hanging around your subconscious. Ultimately, there's something about that person, and it could be deep in their IMDb history, that's relevant to you right now. Ask yourself, what is it about this person that relates back to you, explains Lowenberg. It could be a movie they're in, a song of theirs. The message will be in the title of that movie or the lyrics to that song. The dream, your partner cheated on you. The interpretation, if there's infidelity in your past, either in this relationship or a past relationship, this will keep cropping up because it's a bone of contention within yourself, says Lowenberg. Also important to remember, dreams aren't prophecies. If there aren't trust issues and this seems to be coming out of left field, then it doesn't mean your partner's cheating, explains Lowenberg. Instead, there may be another third wheel to blame. There's something that's taking up too much time and attention away from you, she says. It could be a job, golf, friends, a new baby. Something is causing you to feel cheated out of that time and attention. Quote, ultimately, this dream can be positive, so long as you don't wake up pissed off at your partner for something they did in your subconscious. It's letting you know something needs to be corrected, advises Lowenberg. You and your partner can start having date nights, or try to cut down on golf or whatever it may be. Quote, the dream, you cheated on your partner. The interpretation, this one can be just as alarming, yet it's just as symbolic. My experience with these types of dreams is there is often some doubt about the other person's loyalty or the safety of the relationship, most often emotional, says Boquin. Betrayal can happen in many forms, so if you feel that your partner is prioritizing something or someone else before you, or that they're not being fully transparent, your subconscious may be trying to process what is happening. Dreams are a space where we can confront the taboo or issues we're unwilling to confront when we're awake. Quote, the dream, you're running late for something super important. The interpretation, if you work in a deadline-oriented field, this one is pretty self-explanatory, says Lowenberg. If not, timelines are likely still to blame, but they're self-imposed. Maybe you want to lose weight or you want to reach a level in your career by a certain date, Lowenberg posits. The dream, you're pregnant. The dream, you're standing on a cliff, and suddenly you're falling into nothingness. The interpretation. Dreams of falling can be associated with feeling out of control or overwhelmed. They may also relate to feeling unsupported and insecure, says Braun. The dream. You've lost your voice and you're unable to call or shout for help. The interpretation. This may not just be a dream, but may be the result of sleep paralysis, explains Braun. During REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, the sleep cycle during in which we dream, our bodies experience REM atonia, a natural paralysis during the REM cycle. Physiologically, we are paralyzed during REM sleep to prevent our bodies from acting or moving while we dream. People who experience sleep paralysis usually wake up before the REM cycle is complete. This space between sleep and waking can be experienced as a dream. It can also be experienced in the waking state as being unable to move, talk, and, in some cases, breathe. Quote. The dream. You're naked, in public. The interpretation. These dreams are often accompanied by feelings of embarrassment and shame, says Braun. They can also be related to feelings of vulnerability and exposure. But if you're in the nude and feel no shame, it could be the total opposite. Perhaps this person wants to be seen, acknowledged, admired. Quote. The dream. Your teeth are suddenly falling out. The interpretation. Are you an anxious person? It could be pent-up anxiety coming through in the form of a dream. We might think of this as being concerned about one's potency, competence, strength, power, ability to take a bite out of the world, says Braun. This common dream can also be associated with times of change and transition. The dream. You're being chased. The interpretation. It all depends on who is doing the chasing. Often people are being chased by a monster. The monster may be a manifestation of an indiscretion, an addiction, or a debt, explains Braun. If you have the unfortunate dream, or nightmare, of being chased by someone you know, it could differ. Your associations about the person chasing you are often more insightful than focusing on the actual person chasing you, says Braun. Keep in mind, people in dreams can be substitutions for other people or even substitutions for aspects of ourselves. Quote. The dream. You're in a position of power, a CEO, president, queen, or religious figure. The interpretation. On the surface, dreaming of being in a position of power seems to be grandiose, says Braun. However, it can be argued that most people who dream of being in a position of power are in fact not in a position of power. Therefore, the dream turns the unpowerful dreamer, in the dream world, into the opposite. What looks like grandiosity is actually compensatory. The dream compensates, or covers up, for the feelings of being powerless. Quote. The dream. You're at an impossibly elegant dinner party or you're with a deceased family member, or other impossible, but positive, scenarios. The interpretation. This kind of dream, along with other dreams of elaborated elegance, can represent a need to supplement reality with fantasy. Dreaming of a banquet is an attempt to satisfy the hunger of the missed meal, explains Braun. Dreaming of a dead loved one is a way to bring them back to life, he says. Dreams can also be healing. They can help us process difficult emotions we've experienced, adds Boquin. Many believe that these are visits from their departed loved ones, and others simply take comfort in feeling like they were able to spend time with their loved one in the dream world. Quote. What does it mean if you're chased in a dream? Running away from something or being chased in your dream suggests that you are running away from something that is causing you to fear or anxiety in waking life. Your action of running in your sleep suggests that is how you would respond to pressure and cope with stress or fears day to day. It is suggesting that you have a tendency to run away from issues rather than tackle them. This can be a recurring dream until you find the issue and resolve it in your waking life. If you can't find a toilet in your dream, what does it mean? When you have a dream where you can't find the toilet, this can relate to something in your waking life where you may be struggling to express your needs in a certain situation. You might feel that, as you are putting others first, you are lacking time for personal issues. What does it mean to fly in your dream? Dreaming of being able to fly in your dream can be interpreted in many ways. A tough time flying in your dream suggests that someone, or something, is stopping you from moving to the next step in your life. What does it mean to crash a vehicle in your dream? Cars in our dreams represent our drive in life and the direction we are taking. If you dream of your car losing control, you may feel that you are off track and need to get back on the road to keep going. If you lose control with someone you know driving the car, you might feel you need to get them back on track. The person driving will help you to understand who is controlling your direction.